Welcome to the Scent of Beauty. My name is Susan, and this video is titled Integrity/Dignity Part 4. And this video is in regards to responding to sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. And we've known that for some time now that that's not an accurate statement. And words not only hurt, but it could also affect the infrastructure of our being. Our integrity gets cracked and our dignity gets hit, and it starts to crumble and we fall. And so this video, what I've learned is that it constrains us when we are told not to take it personal. Verbal abuse with that energy and that force behind it, we're told, and we even have to tell ourselves at times not to take it personal. We become restricted internally. We get hindered, and there's this hindrance to express our true self, verbally, psychologically, and we become obstructed. And what happened to us, we ultimately become handicapped. We lose touch with our requirements psychologically, what we require, our essentials. And so we move into that guesstimate, that guesswork, estimating on superficial premises, calculating based on other people, people's resolves. The reason I say we become constrained is because we don't know our own benchmarks after a while. Our standard or point of reference against which we start to live against ourselves, don't know which way to go. Should I go the route of not taking it personally, or should I go the route of just seizing? How do we start to assess ourselves? Not having a record of our nature of being, because we learn to become human doing what is dictated to us. The geographical travel from our psyche to our heart and vice versa, with the message that I'm discussing, gets interrupted. So we each have to determine if there is a discrepancy. I'm learning to research and estimate my own personal well-being. I had a friend recently, and my friend was sharing with me the heedless words of an individual, and I was about to say to my friend, "Don't take it personally," but I didn't. The next day, that individual did the same thing to me. I took it personal, and I spoke from my requirements with my standard, my sturdiness that I learned from developing my integrity and my dignity. My psyche didn't flinch to come up with an excuse, because I am learning my limitation from an altitude perspective. I consciously operated from the best place that I stood, from a posterior stance, then a prostrate in pain, completely defeated and deficient of certitude. I'm learning to trust myself. And how this occurred is because I realized that when a house is being built, or at least it's in the works, the engineer and the architect is not brought in immediately. It's not the construction workers, it's the land surveyor. I didn't go into, and usually what would happen is we would go into straighten up, stand up, hurry up, to try to give an impression. But a land surveyor, what I've learned from a land surveyor, I observe my potential, my psychological health, and our psychological health has to become relevant by gathering information. We learn about biology, and we see the development of chronological development, and how I see my growth and the features in our body. My body starts to change. But the psychological world, my psyche world of so much activity, beautiful activity, most of the time it goes unnoticed because we don't have a land surveyor. A land surveyor have scoping equipment, robotic total station, they use that. And they use 3D scanning. They're constantly surveying. Why? Because they're offering the infrastructure, the integrity and dignity comprehensively prior to materially. Infrastructure, the underlining groundwork. That's the installation that form all the bases for any operation. The gift of the land surveyor is the land surveyor then communicate the findings to the engineer and the architect. They're like the first responders, and I talked about that in my first video, but I realized that the first responders don't have to come in a combative state. Our first responders can work from knowledge, insightfulness, understanding, the mapping of our being, and the boundary assessments, and can collaborate with our total being. We don't have to have scholastic knowledge or schooling about our being. We just have to have the interest, the willingness to show up for ourselves. And that's where integrity begins. When I take a look at my psyche from a surveyor's standpoint, then I incorporate how does it affect my central nervous system, my my respiratory system, my digestive system. I get to learn about how, words do hurt. It hurts these systems. What about our immune system? Our words get into our immune system, our anatomy, our cells, our tissue, and that's where the architecture comes in. Words hurt. Have you seen someone that's been insulted? They put their heads down, they twirl their fingers, they shake their legs, riddled with anxiety, and have to deal with the mental component of dealing with, but don't take it personally. Once we start to see our being as magnificent as we do other structures, we don't fight, we don't even flight, and we don't freeze. we walk away. We have our integrity and our dignity intact. Our integrity and our dignity, once those structures and pillars are up, erected through purpose, we don't so easily allow others to send shrapnels to our psyche. We stand with all of our responders because we ourselves have developed the scent for our own beauty. Thank you.